I'm installing new sound files in a newly installed LokSound Decoder on Ron's Trains and Things right now. Hi, I'm Ron of Ron's Trains and Things, and today I am uploading sound files into a newly installed ESU LokSound Decoder. Now, I recently shared a video where I replaced several old Digitrack sound decoders with non-sound decoders for locomotives on my layout. I received a number of comments from that video from people who thought that I was doing away with sound altogether on my layout, despite the fact that I said exactly the opposite in the video. I replaced those decoders due to their poor performance and their poor sound quality. I don't put sound in every locomotive on my layout, but I do have several sound units, and the ones that I have kept because they operate and they sound really, really good. They are worth keeping. Well, LokSound decoders have become my sound decoder of choice. And so today I'm going to be installing a drop-in board replacement type LokSound decoder in an Atlas sound-ready locomotive. Now this is a generic decoder, so it comes with no sounds loaded on it. So I'll also be downloading the appropriate sound file for that locomotive from the ESU website, installing it on the decoder, and setting it up to run appropriately on my layout, and I'm going to show you how I do all of that today. Hey, if you'd like to see more model railroad tips, tools, and techniques, then be sure to subscribe down below and click that little bell icon so you can catch future videos. But now, let's get this decoder installed, get the sound files uploaded, and get this locomotive running on the layout. This video is brought to you by Midwest Model Railroad. Now with 15,000 square feet and one-day shipping, they truly are your one-stop model railroad shop. MidwestModelRR.com. Link in the description. The locomotive I'm working on today is the newly released Atlas N-Scale Master Line Silver Series -8 40CW. I should note that this model is an industry sample that was provided by Atlas to my friends at Model Railroad News, who passed it on to me for the sake of review, and I did a full video review of this locomotive on my other channel, Ron's Rail Reviews. I'll put a link to that video in an end screen at the end of this video, as well as in the description down below. This unit is DCC and sound ready, which means that it comes with a speaker factory installed in the fuel tank. It has two pairs of contacts, one pair for the motor and one pair for the speaker, which means that the sound installation requires zero wiring or soldering. It's a simple matter of removing the old light board and dropping in a new sound decoder. I'm installing a LokSound 5 Micro Direct decoder today. Atlas supplies this plastic insulator that protects the decoder from shorting out on the metal frame. This keeps you from having to use Kapton tape as we've used in the past. The board has independent ditch lights on the front, which feed via light pipe to the actual ditch lights on the front of the locomotive. This black light shield is crucial as it keeps the light from the three independent LEDs from bleeding together and ruining the independent lighting effect. You have to install this shield on the board before installing the board into the frame. With the decoder slipped into the mounting clips on the frame, I was ready to reinstall the body shell. I tested the motor function on the layout briefly, and then took the locomotive to the programming track connected to my ESU LokProgrammer to install the sound files and set up the decoder. Step 1 is to download the appropriate sound file from the ESU website. Go to esu.eu/en for the English version of their website. From there, you click on the Downloads menu at the top center. Then, on the left, click on the Sounds option. At this point, you need to know which version of the decoder you have. It's printed on the box the decoder came in. The newest one are the Series 5 decoders, and that's what I'm using today, so I select the 5 family option. This is a North American locomotive, so I next select the North American and Australian sound file page. Now, finally, we see a list of the sound files available. You can browse the list of sound files or use the search option at the top right to search for the particular file that you need. If you're not exactly sure which file you need, find the one that appears to represent your locomotive most clearly, and at the bottom of the shortened description, click the More option to see the full description of the decoder. There you will find a list of all of the locomotives that sound file is appropriate for. This 7FDL 16-cylinder file is the one that I need. Now you can scroll to the bottom of the sound file pane and click the download button. Depending on your internet speed, the download process may take a few minutes. Once downloaded into my Downloads folder, I like to move these files into a folder specifically for ESU sound files and save them. It's best to upload the sound files onto a fresh decoder before you make any other adjustments to the CVs or the settings. This way, if you have any issues with the upload, you'll know that the problem lies with the sound file installation, not some other CV that you may have changed along the way. With my locomotive on the programming track and the LokProgrammer connected to the computer, I double-click on the sound file, which opens it in the LokProgrammer software. You will see the sound file listed in the menu bar at the top of the page once it's opened. Now you can write the sound file to your decoder by using the Programmer menu and Write Sound option, or this shortcut button with the music notes and the red arrow, which performs the same task. When you get the dialog box, choose Next and the upload process will begin. It will take 30 minutes or maybe a little more to upload the file onto the decoder, but let's fast forward to the next step. Once the file is uploaded, you need to choose the sounds that you want. Your prime mover should be ready to go, but if you want to choose from the list of bells and horns, you can do that in the Sound Slot Settings tab. Here, in the top pane, you'll see a list of sound slots. Look for the specific slot for horns. Then, in the lower pane, you want to select the list of horns, or the horn pack. Now you can listen to and choose the specific horn that you want. To find the list of horns for their specific CV value, select the Information tab at the far left. There you'll see the same description that you saw on the ESU website when you downloaded the sound file. Scroll down to find the list of horns and bell sounds. This particular file has 15 different horns and 5 different bells to choose from, and I can see which horn corresponds to which CV value in this list. To choose your sounds, return to the Decoder tab on the left in the Sound Slot Settings where we were a moment ago, and in the top pane, you see the slider for setting the value of the CV for the different sound files. With the horns selected, I can choose values from 0 to 14, and I can hear each sound through my PC speakers using the preview button on the lower pane. When you found the horn that you want, use the page with the red arrow button at the top left to write that CV to your decoder. You can listen to that sound from the locomotive on the programming track by choosing the driver's cab on the far left and then selecting Go and using the digital keypad to test any functions on the decoder. This ability to test functions on the programming track is one of my favorite features of the LokProgrammer. You can repeat this same process to choose different bells or any other sounds that you want to configure and select. Finally, back in the Decoder tab under the Function Mapping menu, you can program which functions control which sounds and associate specific sounds with specific physical outputs such as movement and lights. Just be sure to test each setting one at a time and save your file to your computer as well as uploading it to your decoder before you shut down. Now, let's take a look and listen to Norfolk Southern number 8334 with her new sound decoder installed. Well, I must say that sound installation could not be easier than it is with these Atlas sound-ready locomotives and these ESU LokSound drop-in sound decoders. And the sound and operation are both absolutely superb. Now, I still need to tweak some things on this particular decoder, set the sound volumes to get them exactly balanced the way that I want, set up Rule 17 lighting and the ditch lights, but those are the subjects for other videos. Now, if you use ESU decoders, I must say that the LokProgrammer that I used in this video makes what can be pretty involved and complicated programming so much easier. And if you're interested in looking at or maybe picking up a LokProgrammer, I've got a link to one in my Amazon Pick of the Week in the description down below, and you should check that out. Also, be sure to check out my full review of this Atlas 8 locomotive and other great model railroad content in the links on your screen right now. And be sure and join me each Tuesday as I bring you even more great model railroad videos. And I look forward to seeing you then. 10, Lizzie?